let's go back to the peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Why did Saudi Arabia agree, and why did Iran agree to this deal in defiance to the interest of America, who is the dominant Toknadu, of the world? You must know that America has always been the largest, the biggest customer of Saudi Arabia in the oil market. After that, you have Japan and, of course, China. That's how it has always been. But since after the emergence of Donald Trump in 2016, Trump, being a very proactive, active businessman, with high acumen in business as he is, he immediately activated, approved the exploration of the oil resources in America. So during his tenure, America became much more self-sufficient in oil products. Okay, he allowed the fracking of their oil ores, and also producing more gas as well in America, to a point that America became a major oil and gas exporter. Okay, so they reduced the quantity of oil that they were getting from Saudi Arabia. Okay, so since Saudi Arabia lost that big orders they used to get from America, China came in to fill that gap, because America is also supplying Japan. So China came in to fill that gap, and China is now the biggest oil buyer of Saudi Arabia oil. At the same time, it's still the biggest oil buyer of Iran. Because remember, Iran is under serious sanctions from America and from the rest of the Western world, because of the JCPOA, the nuclear deal that was signed between the West and Russia. And of course, Donald Trump pulled out of it and reinstated the sanctions that Obama has already lifted when he was leaving office, because Iran agreed to sign that nuclear deal, that they're not going to pursue nuclear weapon. Now, when China now proposed this deal with Saudi Arabia and Iran, you see where the economic interest comes in. I told you it's purely business, economic security, financial security. Now, Saudi Arabia knows that China is the biggest buyer of its resources. Iran, likewise. So, in order for them to actually stand out and be able to accommodate being in the same umbrella of BRICS, they must make peace, because business must flow. Money must flow. Okay? So that's why Saudi Arabia agreed. It's all business. They agreed on the diplomatic terms that they actually going to set aside their differences and do business. Okay? Their religious differences is still there. That will take some time for them to actually get through it. But business first. So they agreed to actually sign this deal. Because right now, through the umbrella of BRICS, China was able to convince Saudi Arabia, look, I'm your largest customer. And you must, as I am accommodating buying all your oil, a large chunk of it, you must also accommodate small thing that I would like, that will benefit both of us to do businesses that will mutually benefit both of us. So let's trade in our own currencies. Instead of me buying your oil in dollars and still enriching America that is already killing me with sanctions. So Saudi Arabia is no longer afraid because China is there for support economically. China is the biggest customer. Russia is there if they need weapons. In case America sanctions Saudi Arabia, say we're not going to give you weapons anymore, we provide you all your military gadgets and all that. I mean, I don't know what military gadget I was talking about. I mean, Saudi Arabia has all the military equipment that America exports. It has all of them. The Patriot missiles, all kind of missiles, and all kind of every weapons that America exports. Saudi Arabia has them. And that's what it's been using to decimate Yemen. Attacking Yemen and killing a whole lot of people, dying there and all that. Upon all that weapons, it did not prevent kamikaze drones and missiles from Yemen landing in Saudi Arabia soils, almost decimating the Aramco oil facilities in Saudi Arabia. And the allegation that Saudi Arabia actually put out there is that it's Iran that's, that's supplying the Houthis of Yemen these equipments to attack Saudi Arabia. Of course, we all know that's the truth because the Houthis, the Yemen, they are mostly Shiites. So that's why Saudi Arabia is fighting, Saudi Arabia is Sunni, but they are fighting a Shiite country. So another Shiite country will actually come to protect them. And Iran is has the most sophisticated military equipment in the Middle East. It's a military power, it's the strongest in the Middle East. While Saudi Arabia is the strongest economically, financially, because they sell a whole lot of oil, to the Western world. And they are good in business. Saudi Arabians are business geniuses. They are good in investments. They have a whole lot of investments in the Western world, in the UK, in America, in Canada. They have so many. I mean, in America alone, they have American treasuries of over $120 billion. We're not talking about their investments in the real estate in America. We're not talking about their investments in American oil companies like Chevron and all that. Okay? They have invested seriously in American corporate companies as well. So much money, so much wealth of Saudi Arabia is there, generating interest for them. Apart from the oil that they are still selling to America. all these opportunities, Iran has been deprived of it because of the sanctions against Iran. Iran does not have the luxury of supplying oil and all their other mineral resources they have, like gas and all that, to the Western world, to America, to make more profit. They are limited with their customers. And China is their only major customers. I mean, you have the India as well, but China is the largest customer. You see what I'm saying? So now that America has reduced the purchases it's getting from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia need to replace America, and it's not going to get that in Europe. China is there. So China, being now the new influencer in the oil business of Saudi Arabia, they are obliged to, kind of like, you know how it is. You tap me, I tap you. Okay? You grease me, I grease you. So they're doing that. They have to actually agree to using each other's currency, instead of using the US dollars. So you see where I'm talking about now. Like I made mention before that Iran has the highest military power in the Middle East. It is very, very independent because it has done what Russia, have been doing since 2008. Being under serious sanctions since 1979, Iran knew that at any point in time, they're going to come for them. They're going to come. The Western countries are going to come one way or the other, through revolution, through internal conflict, through supporting opposition to destabilize the government and take over and all that, and put in a puppet, or instigate some kind of war, just like, they did, through Iraq, having Saddam Hussein to attack, to attack Iran, and the war was ferocious. It was deadly. America supplied Iraq all kinds of dangerous weapons, even chemical weapons, to lay harm on Iranians. It was really tragic. Okay, after all that, still, what did they do to Iraq? Saddam Hussein, where is he right now? Y'all know about that. It was the Western countries. So you see, the double-edged sword. But China is giving these countries, alternative to this pressure from the Western countries. And that's why they are all jumping into this umbrella of the BRICS.